I would say take your first year and first find yourself as a DJ. Where do you fit in? What style of music do you want to play? Don't worry too much about social media, because I see a lot of newer guys when they just started, they play maybe one festival. Now they got like all these social media pages.
You played at Earthdance like recently, eh?
Yes, yeah, no, it was Earthdance.
How was it?
Was lekker, I must say, for Wacky Woods. I haven't seen that venue so full, I think, in your 2018's New Year's. Last that venue was so full. Like the camping grounds was all the way to the back full. It was nice. And luckily the weather lasted. I think I had like 15 minutes left of my set. Then the rain started coming down. So,
did you play like in the morning?
Oh, 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock.
Nice. How do you enjoy like those morning sets?
Yo, man, so like I said to Andrea, it was a tough one, eh? I haven't done those in a long time. So, and I'm also one of those people, I can't go sleep and then wake up, because I know I'm just going to go lay there and toss around. I'm just going to make myself even more tired than laying. So I'd rather must just stay up. So, no, it's a long stretch, eh? So it's something to get used to if you dedicate it for that time slot. So your music is just for that type of time slot. So
yeah. And then like your set preparation, like how is it different compared to like your evening sets compared to your morning sets? Like do you like go for more power in the morning, or more like more chilled vibes, or faster BPM?
I try to compare it with the guy that plays before me. First, like check and know who plays before me, then I know more or less what style he goes for, and then I try to just adjust it a bit different, maybe go a bit more darker than what I'd usually go with the sounds, and then just up the BPM a bit, and then start bringing it down gradually. Start bringing it down again.
And what range do you usually play at?
My normal BPM range would be a 148 to 150. And then also it depends on what party it is. Then I don't usually go higher than 55, but that doesn't really happen that often that I go up to 55. That's like really once in a blue moon that I'll do a 155. So
yeah, 155 is a bit fast. I think like 148 to like 152 is like the perfect.
Well, yeah, no, that's actually that's also my max. But yeah, like I said, depends on who plays before me. But yeah, usually you get your 155s, but then it's like in the producing side, it doesn't actually sound so fast, but it is. It's just the sound is a bit more darker that's in it. So that's why we'll use it, but it won't happen very often. But no, I also love my from 148 to 152s. That 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock or 12 o'clock till 2 o'clock, that's...
Have you also found like your BPM range kind of progresses like higher and higher as you get more into your music? Like for example, like I started on like 145, like full on, and then as I started learning more about music, I just like went darker and darker.
And it goes faster. No, most definitely, eh? But like I said, I'm comfortable to play any time around the clock.
Yeah,
so it doesn't. Yeah, like I've done techno for 2 years that I played here in Jeffreys Bay for like a small type of bar. Used to be a restaurant. I used to have every second Friday night. They have like a little bit of like a techno thing going on there. So now I'm quite open-minded. But yeah, the 5 o'clock ones, that ones I don't take so more often, but if it comes my way, I'll take it.
Yeah, Earthdance a big festival, so you can't really turn them down. I would take a 5 a.m. stop anytime.
And yeah, and you see, I'm also not one of those type of people that will message the organizer and ask him, no, but don't you must swap me with this person or that person. I'll just adjust. I'll adjust and hope it doesn't happen every party. But luckily it doesn't.
So I think a good place to start is kind of like, how did you get into psytrance? Because obviously it's not super commercial. Like I feel like the people that I've spoken to, the way that they got into psytrance is that they stumbled upon it. Like their friend took them to a party, or like they heard it and like it changed their life. Like for me, I went to a party, someone took me to a party, and as soon as I heard it for the first time, I felt like I was home. Like I loved it so much. So for you, like how did your journey with psytrance start? How did you find it?
Well, I actually started listening to electronic music from a very young age. It was only back here in 2006 that a friend induced me to Parvati Records. And that's where the whole psytrance and proper psychedelic music started, when I started listening to that and the sounds and the bass lines, and that just got me hooked completely, got me into it. But then it was only, I think, 2 years after that that I started going to events and things like that. So, but yeah, it was quite a while back that I got into it. But yeah, it was just through a friend, through the music, and then started progressing on and on and on until where I am today, actually.
And then, like, what made you make the switch to want to be DJing afterwards? Like, was there something that you felt like was missing, or did you just think that you could do a better job than what was available at the parties?
Yeah, it was from going to parties and being on the dance floor from a Friday to a Sunday throughout, listening to all the DJs. And over the years, I've just like started to pick up like what they playing and the music that I'm listening to. Then I just felt like, hey, there's a gap somewhere maybe for me, because like the sounds and the things that I'm listening to, I don't really hear that often at parties. And so I thought, let me give it a go and see if I can get into it. And well, no, it hooked me, and it's just part of it's going forward now.
And how did you start? Like, did you like just buy yourself decks, or did you like get software and then you just started like DJing the software on your laptop? How did you start?
No, it was also only in 2016 that I actually bought a pair of decks, and then just from there on, taught myself from scratch, literally how to DJ. Took some time, though. There were so many times that I felt like, no, I'm just going to give up, because I don't want to ask someone for help. I just want to learn my own way and not like pick up from someone else's style or the way they do things. I want to create my own and figure it out on my own. So it took me quite a while, but yeah. So it was back in 2016 that I bought a pair of decks, and then
Nice. I think that's also something that's missing from like the industry. Like, you don't find a lot of people that's offering help. Like, when I started also, I also didn't know like who to ask for help. I had to like go out and get the information myself and then start teaching myself how to do it.
teaching. And I think that's actually the best way. That's like I say, you learn your own style and a way of doing things. But sometimes some other people will push down their way of doing it, and then there's maybe the easier way, or you find a different way easier for you than their way of doing it.
That's so true. When I listened to like your music, so after the first time when I saw you perform live at Freaky Forest, you were exceptional. I've been going to parties since like 2012, and like when I heard your set, I told Sash, my partner, that this guy's good. And then when I went home, I went to go like get your SoundCloud, and I went to go listen to like your sets, and the way that you transition music was just different to what I ever heard. It was exceptional. And so I suppose like when you say like it's good to start on your own and to figure out your own stuff, so that you don't like maybe pick up bad habits and don't like get stuck in a certain way of DJing. And I think the way that you bring your music through in your sets is exceptional, in my opinion.
Much appreciated.
Where did the DJ name Intropin come from, and what does it mean?
So I wanted to get something that like represents what I am as a person and what my goal is with the music, to bring it across as people with happiness and bring that happy vibe. I guess all DJs want that, but I just wanted a name that represents that. So I was thinking, you get dopamine, that's the happy cell that's being released out of your brain. So there's just a synonym for dopamine is Intropin. Just a different name for dopamine. I didn't want to go just straight for dopamine, so then I went for Intropin.
DJ Dopamine.
So I didn't want to go for DJ Dopamine, so then I went for Intropin. So just a synonym for dopamine.
That's unique. I didn't know that Intropin is a synonym for dopamine. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
With regards to like the festivals that you've played at, you obviously played it a lot. Like you've played it, I think, at almost all of them across the garden route. Which one would you say is your favorite that you've played at so far, and why?
It's quite difficult to say favorites, because I feel very blessed to play at all of them, and every time I learn something new out of all the festivals that I play at. So there is, I must say, Freaky Forest will always have a special place in my heart, because that's whereas when I started DJing, that was like almost like a goal for me. It's like one day I want to play there. So now that I've played there and I'm still getting the opportunities to play at Freaky Forest, I'm just so grateful for it. So that's one of the ones that stand out for me. Must be Freaky. But
Nice.
like I said, I'm very, very grateful for all the opportunities from all the parties that I'm playing at. And
Mm.
uh,
How did you get involved? Like for younger guys now or newer guys to the scene, like what advice would you give them to kind of get started and get into festivals? Like how did you go about getting those slots?
sure, can't even really remember because there've been so many now. But work hard, and like I
Mm.
always say, support other people, support other DJs, and that way also you will get
Yeah.
into it. That's how you also get your name out, is by supporting other people, not just
Mm.
thinking you record mixes, upload it, and because everyone these days can record a mix and upload it, but be there,
Exactly.
support. I know it's difficult these days to support all the parties,
Mm.
but yeah, go out to parties so that you can introduce yourself to the people and to the organizers if you can, and then ask if you can get a gap maybe somewhere along
Mm.
the line.
Mm. Yeah, I think especially in the music business, it's extremely important to network because I've kind of noticed that like it's a lot about who you know. Like if you're connected, then you're obviously gonna
Mm.
get a spot because it's kind of like your friend. So if I throw a festival now, I'm obviously gonna give like nice spots to my friends because I respect them and I know them and I know that what they are capable of. And so it's really good advice to like network and speak to the people because you are at the festivals with them. And so why not
Yeah.
like create like a small community with them and get to know them a bit better?
And I always feel great if I get asked to play at an event and that person doesn't even really know me. Then I know there must be for a good reason for him to ask me. It's not like a friendship thing, so it must be regarding the music. He likes the music
Mm.
or he likes my style. So I like it when something like that happens.
Yeah, it's because you're good. You're super good. Do you think that you'll ever like start producing?
I've dabbled into it a little bit, but as well, I'm a person, if I want to start something, I must give it my all. I don't want to
Mm.
touch a bit, leave it for a couple of months, touch it, go. So at the moment, unfortunately, I don't have the time to put my full concentration into it. So it's a bit difficult. But I think down the line, most definitely look into it.
Mm. And then with regards to like music, who is your favorite label right now, and who is your favorite artist, and why would you say that?
Sure. There's so many favorite labels, but for the last 2 years, I must say I've been going a lot towards the Mexican style
Mm.
of producing and label wise. So I would say Ibedelic Records from Mexico. They've got quite a phenomenal VA selections what they release always. So that's top class. And also then the producers from the Mexican side, like Oksha. I'm a very big fan of Oksha.
Mm.
Calicel, Hypnospores, all those type of Mexican people. I just feel they got this like grinding and crunching type of style to them. It's like a very high
Mm.
energetic and driving style of producing that they have. And yeah, I've played their music on numerous of dance floors and it works. No, definitely you get people
Mm.
going. You can pick a dance floor from almost dead up to a full energetic dance floor very quickly.
So your goal when you play is to make it energetic and to make people smile, right?
Yeah, no, most definitely, most definitely for that 2 hours or hour and a half with my set time, maybe just forget about all your problems and let go. And that's the same that I do when I play for that
Mm.
set. Like forget about everything, and that's where all my concentration lies. And
Mm.
I think that's
Yeah,
where the addiction comes to it.
yeah. I think it comes through in your sets as well. A lot of people go to festivals as like an outlet, and I think like the happiness that you have inside you as a person, because I personally know you, it comes through in your sets, and obviously it's always a jaw, a party, whenever
Yeah, no,
whenever you play.
yeah, no. I also try to have because, like I say, you can't play music to people if you don't even enjoy the music yourself. So, the people I love, I want the people to see that I actually enjoy the music that I do play for them.
Mm.
Not then
Mm.
I don't just want them to enjoy it, but I want to enjoy it myself as well.
Mm. And then when you're creating your sets, like, do you have like a certain goal? Like, is there like a certain like outline that you follow, or do you just like choose your favorite songs at that point and then find a great way to like put them all together?
Yeah, usually I take it as like building a house. Like I need that first song must be like the foundation and must be the solid rocking. So when I start, people know it's someone new, something different. And then I just start building up from the sounds of that song, start building it into each other. So it just blends. And I also love to play around with bass lines, like different type. I don't like to keep it flat on one bass line. So that's why usually I call my sets roller coasters, because it takes you up and down, twists. You never know what to expect. I'll take you down for like maybe 2 songs, just keep you mellowing, and then for like 4 behind each other again, rock it out again.
Yeah, it's nice to have that contrast where you don't like just keep it static and kind of like the
No,
same song playing all the time. It's nice to have like one song that takes you up and then one song that takes you down again, so that you have like that kind of story and that journey. And so the dance floor
yeah,
can
like I always say,
enjoy themselves.
there must be a balance. You can't tire out the dance floor. You can also not bore out the dance floor. It gets too boring with the same flat line. So yeah, you need to balance it out, I would say.
And then with regards to your goals as a DJ, what would you say, or where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? Do you see yourself performing at more festivals, maybe going back into producing, like you said you did try it for, but maybe like reaching out to labels, getting signed? Where do you see yourself like in the next 3 years, or like what can people expect from you in the next 3 years?
Yeah, I would also like to branch out a bit to different regions, bigger type of parties maybe.
Mm,
And yeah, who knows, maybe get signed with a record label and maybe they can help me to get into a party maybe overseas. Like
mm,
one of my goals is like Freaky was one of my goals. One of my other goals is maybe Modem for a daytime afternoon set. I think I'll
yeah.
fit in perfectly for that time. So maybe not nighttime at Modem, but definitely through a
Yeah,
daytime
that will
set.
be exciting. That will be exciting to see a South
No,
African and another South African at Modem.
yeah, no, will most definitely be exciting. Maybe you can come with. Why not?
I'd love to, man. Like with regards to younger guys now that's coming into the scene and guys that's starting out, in my personal opinion, I think it's hard to kind of break into the scene. It's hard to like make a name for yourself. What advice would you give them in terms of like starting? Like you said, they should speak to people at festivals and make connections. What other advice would you give to new DJs that's starting right now in order to kind of make a name for themselves and get going and get better with their craft?
I would say take your first year and first find yourself as a DJ. Where do you fit in? What style of music do you want to play? Don't worry too much about social media, because I see a lot of newer guys when they just started, they play maybe one festival. Now they got like all these social media pages, and I sometimes feel that keeps you back,
Mm,
doesn't help you to grow, because first find yourself, where do you fit in as a DJ, and like I say, support other DJs, and by doing that you learn a lot, and also you pick up on what do they play and what can you do different to
mm,
be something, to be unique, because DJing is the same as producing. You don't want to produce music the same sound in what the other guy does. You want something different. So
mm.
yeah, I would say just take your first year, maybe 2, just learn yourself and where do you want to be. And also don't aim too high. Don't start off just want to go play at the biggest festivals or this. Start with small indoor festivals. That really helps you to learn how to read a crowd. It's much easier to read an indoor crowd than an outdoor crowd. And so you also learn from it what works, what doesn't work, what style of mixing works for the people. And yeah, pick 1 or 2 people out in the crowd and work with them. See when you turn a knob, if their body moves in certain ways, or they don't like it, you can pick it up very quickly. But when you play at bigger festivals, it's not that easy to read a crowd because there's so many people.
When you say like read a crowd, do you mean like just change the flow of your mix? So if, for example, you're playing like a certain song and you had like this next song in mind and you saw that the crowd wasn't grooving to it, would you then change the song that you were going to play, or would you just maybe like tweak a few knobs to like add some effects to the song to make it a bit more groovy?
More groovy, yeah, or maybe you need to bring in songs a bit faster, or you need to try to stretch out
Mm,
your mix in between songs.
mm.
Playing around with bass lines does help because you can bring crowds up and bring them down very quickly. Then what you keep one flat bass line.
So when you go to festivals and when you play in your sets, do you have like extra songs that you take with you that you've prepared in case like you see like the crowd's not
If
moving, and then
something
you would bring in another song that wasn't really in your preparation?
I do have, yeah, no, I usually have extra sets on there, but to be honest, that hasn't really happened. The set that I have is the one that I played and it works. So, but yeah, no, most definitely. I do have backups there if you see something is not working that you need to tempo it down or maybe take it up a bit.
For like creating your festival set, you're obviously created towards like the festival, like what the festival, like if you know the festival, you know like what kind of music
Yeah,
they
what
want to
is
bring
their
through.
goal? Yeah.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to younger guys or newer guys that are creating their sets? Like how do you advise that they go about it?
Do a bit of research about the party and especially get in contact with the person that plays before you. And maybe he has played at this party more than you have played there, and then be in contact with him and just hear out what is he more or less going to do so you know what to prepare. And also, then you don't play exactly the same style of music or maybe not even the same songs. So,
Mm.
yeah, especially with your BPM ranges, check where's he gonna end and maybe ask him, does he play 2 BPMs up, or is he one of the DJs he takes a 150 track but he brings it all the way down to 147, that type of thing. So
Mm.
then you also know where you stand to prepare your set.
Nice, brother. I appreciate you coming on and giving some advice. You obviously know that I'm a big fan of yours as well, and so like these are some tips that I'm gonna take myself because you can always be learning, you can always be growing, you can always be improving
No,
to
most
where you
definitely.
want
Like
to
I said,
be.
I also learn every time. I also learn from people at
Mm.
parties by just watching them and observing. But yeah,
Mm.
like I say, communication is quite key. Like sometimes you feel you don't want to communicate with the people, with the person, or you're shy, or you're gonna not get a reply. But if you don't get a reply, still just go with your heart,
Yeah.
eh? Or even get in contact with the organizer, and he also knows the flow because he must have a goal in his head. Where does he want his party to go to? What is the flow of the
Mm.
party? Does it want fast, slow? All, yeah, and like you learn your DJs that's on the lineup so you know already beforehand how the flow of the party is going to be.
Yeah, I think also like sell yourself to the party. Like the
Yeah.
when you message them, make sure it's like unique. It's not just a generic message that you send to everyone, and make sure that the way you bring yourself across is that you can add value to the party. Don't think of like
Yes.
what you can, what are you gonna gain out of it. Think of what you can give. Like what can you
No.
bring to the dance floor that someone else can't bring.
No, most definitely. Like I always say, a party is like a puzzle. All of us are just one puzzle piece. So you must bring your puzzle piece to make it a complete one. So,
That's beautiful. I'm gonna remember
yeah.
that. Where are you playing next? Where can people find you next?
Okay, so the end of this month, I'm yet again at Freaky Forest. That is the 28th of October. And then November, I've got a break. And then December, it's Universal Frequency. They're
Nice.
hosting it at Wacky Woods. That's the 9th of December. And then
Nice.
New
Do you
Year's
know
is still two. Sorry?
Freaky? Now I was going to ask, do you know your set times for Freaky and for Universal yet?
Yes, Freaky on the Saturday night from 6 till 8 for Freaky. And then Universal the Sunday morning from 2 till 4. And I'm very
Nice.
happy with both the time slots. It's right up my alley, so very happy with it.
Nice. And then you said you're playing again at Freaky Forest for New Year, right?
It's not set yet, confirmed, but so yeah, I'm still, yeah. New Year's is still to be confirmed where I'll be.
Sweet, brother. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you giving your advice and spending your time with me. Where can guys that have watched this, where can they find you? Where are you most active?
Like I say, I also actually still need to start like a dedicated DJ page, but yeah, I've got an Instagram page that people can follow me. You can just search Intropin, you will find it there, and then also SoundCloud. But I also need to
Nice.
update the SoundCloud again. Oh, but luckily I've done a mix for you, so there's something new again as well.
Yes, I'm gonna add all your links to the bottom of this video and after I post it to YouTube, and then I'm super excited for your mix as well. It's gonna be released on the 21st of October on a Friday, on a Jazz Friday. I haven't listened to it yet. I want to listen to it like once I release it to everyone, and so that I can hear it with them. Super
Yes,
excited for
yes.
that.
Hey, no, great stuff. Great, great, great.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on.
Hey,
I'll see you at the dance floors again. I'm always excited when I see your name on a festival lineup. You're one of the first names that I look for. And I hope to see you soon.
hey, and thank you, and thanks for the opportunity that I can share a bit of a background about Intropin and myself. Much appreciated.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, my bro. Keep well.